Welcome back to AutoLooks Online. This week we're looking at the new concept from Jaguar, the XC751. Okay, Jaguar has come a long way from being on their own to owned by Ford to now being owned by Indian car maker Tata Motors. Okay, with the release of the new XF this year, beautiful, great looking saloon. Okay. Now Jaguar is taking the wraps off this great looking supercar. Okay, taking a look at this thing, what do I first see? I see the XJ220 of the 1980s, late 80s, early 90s. Okay, the XJ220 was an age-defining car. It went fast. It looked cool. It was a car for the time, just like the Ferrari F40. Okay. This thing, if Jaguar released it, would be one hell of a car. Okay. Although, just as being a concept, and considering the fact that Jaguar may not release it, it still is one awesome car. Okay. But I'm not here to say what's good, what's great. I'm here to point fun at what's wrong. And when it comes to Jaguar, they had lots of things wrong with them in the past. One, being owned by Ford Motor Company. Ford's come a long way, but when they owned Jaguar Land Rover, it seems that all they wanted to do was own them. How many years did we see the exact same design of Jaguar sedans? From the late 70s all the way up until this year. Right? Nearly 30 years of using the same design. You know, it was cool in the 80s. It's not cool now. I don't care if the 80s come back. Those designs weren't cool now. This design, on the other hand, kind of looks like a cat on the prowl. Yes, let's take a look. Up front, you got the very distinctive cat front grille. Jaguar's very famous for this nice round curvature grille. It was kind of made famous on a lot of old Jaguars. The first major one you might find in it that everyone can remember, XJ220. It had the round grille. The only problem with that car is it had the bubble lights. This has sort of bubble lights, but new age bubble lights. They got edges, they got curves, they got a backplate, and they got halogen bulbs. You don't have to worry about the weird looking incandescent light bulbs anymore. Now, up front, I gotta say how I'm always, talking trash about cars that don't know how to use the difference between hard edges and curves. This thing's got a lot of curves up front. It's got a few hard edges. Yeah, we got one here as that comes out. We got one here. And the light is a hard curve. Everything else is kind of smooth and fast. But that's not incredibly bad. The grille, very well done. Okay, but the front spoiler, I have to say, Jaguar, yeah, kind of looks like you got your lip hanging out. Like you're sitting there looking like this. Bring it in a bit. Okay, bring that lip in. So it's only just a small smidgen hanging around. Make it so it's like, probably about an inch. Flying all the way around the edge. That just looks like somebody with a fat lip. Kind of get rid of that. These air ducts, well done, but they look like they're added on. So you can see the line right here. If they just kind of hugged that line, made it part of the car so it didn't stick out, it wouldn't look like it's a Canadian Tire add-on. Same with the hood scoop. Cool, well done, but they should have just drawn the lines out of the car. Just a little bit of duct, not the coolest. Add some lines in it for some cold air intake. You got a different story going right there. Moving along to the side, nice duct, still got the same problem. It's sticking out. Right? They need to tuck it into the car. Kind of make it add part of the feature. Make it so it curves around and you don't see the lines. Because once you see the lines, you automatically think, oh, what happens if I hit this thing? It's going to snap. It's going to look dumb if it breaks, right? Well, why would you break the car? Of course, it is just a concept. These things might change if they did develop a car. Moving on to the rims. Rims, very well done. I have to say, these are very nice looking rims. Very wild, very cool, very luxurious. And although Jag is known by some people as not being the world's best luxury automaker, it's slowly moving back. Hoodline, this is one of the fastest hoodlines I've seen. It comes from the front and just scrapes across the top. It looks like when you're sitting in the car, you're going to be sitting on the ground because there's no roof. Well, you want a fast looking car, you're going to have a roof line. This thing kind of reminds me of an LMP race car. Le Mans series. Very neat. And then you got the air duct going right into the rear engine bay. Yeah. More likely to be a mid-engine rear-wheel drive. Now, moving on to the back of this thing, we see that it's a completely different story. Up front, you're looking at smooth curves, a sad face. Moving on to the back, you see, I don't know, quite a bit of the old XJ design. Concept design, that very evil looking back end. But kind of makes it look like it's a fast wing. Like everything just comes down, just right off. I think that's what they were kind of going for. Because everything about the rear end of this car is just super fast. Your air is coming from here, it just scoots right off the back. You don't get your rear end tornado going there at all. It just flies off the back. Smooth, fast, very aerodynamic. This car would be, well, I'm guessing if it was built, would probably exceed 220 miles an hour. Granted, it had the right motor under the trunk. Moving on to the rear window, I can't say very much about it, but they should have kind of tucked it in a bit. I know. They want to make it fast, they want to make it smooth. But when you do that completely, you're kind of taking away from a bit of the design. Because now it just looks like the window that just came and, oh, we need a rear window, slap. There's a window. Taillights in this thing, well, they're nearly non-existent, right? Because they kind of just notched in there. It would have been a lot nicer if they hadn't added this bottom piece here. If it had just come straight across. Now, I know it is a trunk light. I know the line goes like that. But what they could have done with the line here, made it follow either the top or the bottom of the light. Right in the center of the light with this car, with no name and no symbol on the rear end of this car, kind of draws the eye right to that spot. You kind of notice it and go, oh, there's a space. Now, overall on this car, out of 10, I have to give it a 9. One fast, wild-looking racing car. It's only losing points for just being too simple of a rear end. It's very fast, very cool, very neat. But that rear end is just kind of too plain. Throw a Jaguar name on the back and, well, might spice things up a bit. Just might. I'd say add a spoiler, but this car really does not need a spoiler. It's too cool for a spoiler. All I can say with Jaguar is it looks like they found the right buyers for the car company. Now, let's hope these buyers, or the new owners of this car company, can turn it back into what it was back in the 1960s, when everyone wanted the old Jaguar Roadsters. Let's just hope this car company can make it. For this week, this is AutoLooks saying, hey, Jaguar, great new stuff. Seems that you and Lotus and Aston Martin, well, all the British marques, are making a comeback. Let's just hope this comeback lasts a lot longer than it used to.